Hey there, I'm meteorologist Vin Crosby from the Weather Show at Vin Crosby. It has been a while since I posted anything on the YouTube show, and there's a reason for that. This weather pattern is boring, incredibly boring. And because this weather pattern is so boring, I thought that we'd go back and take a look at just seeing how we're doing with our winter weather outlook and what we have coming up in the future. But before we go any further, back in October, going into early November, I issued my winter weather outlook for this winter season. So again, to recap, we are in a La Nina year. We're going to have this jet stream that I think is going to send this blocking ridge of high pressure that you can see out in the Pacific Ocean. That should move a little bit closer towards the west coast. And that will provide that buckle a little higher into Canada, deflecting storms down in towards the north. So I think that's going to take the majority of the cold air at times to the north or be in the mountains, and where it will not be in the Treasure Valley. So then when the moisture gets in here, we'll see mostly rain or mixture of light snow and sleet. And then it's all boring because of the ridge of high pressure that is over the west. The La Nina ridge of high pressure is supposed to send us some systems with cold air. And so we get some snow in the Treasure Valley, and I, looking way back in November, making a forecast, went way below what we're supposed to get this time of year in a La Nina weather pattern. And even that was too much of a forecast. It has been anemic when it comes to snow in the Treasure Valley. Now, the mountains have seen some pretty good snowstorms. Of course, a lot of the ski resorts making their snow been hit or miss even there. We want a little bit more snow. The reason is because the ridge of high pressure, as I mentioned way back in my winter weather outlook, that got hung up along the Pacific Northwest coast. And when that happens, that deflects a lot of our storm systems, like the clouds you see here, going on up out of the Pacific into Canada, and then just missing a lot of the western United States. This jet stream has been set up like this for quite some time, and it's blocking all those weather patterns and having them go up into the north. So we have two forms of the jet stream. We've got a polar jet, which is down south, and then the very, very cold air, the Arctic one that's up there to the north. We've been kind of just hung up, if you will, in this cold pattern, with most of the precipitation missing us, going on up over in towards Canada and just deflecting to the east. This high pressure system in a La Nina weather pattern should be out to the west. It hasn't happened yet. And I say yet because it is going to happen. And it looks like as we go into Sunday night, specifically going into Monday of early next week, we're going to start to see a weather pattern change finally into a La Nina weather pattern, which we really haven't had yet develop for the North America continent. High pressure, the ridge of it, diving up into Canada. This is classic. Then a little dip in the jet stream coming on down, tapping in to some of that very cold air that is up into Canada. Good news, bad news with this scenario. We'll get some storm systems to slip on into the northwest, but they're going to be very weak for the Idaho region. Most of the storminess will get hung up out there in Oregon, Washington, down in California. It could be tremendously stormy for them. But as the system dives down, it's going to continue to dive down to the south and carve itself right around to our south. And with that, most of the rain and snow that you see across the region will get hung up in Oregon, Washington, California, northern areas of Nevada. This may even affect southern Idaho and southeastern Idaho more than it will western and southwestern Idaho, because that storm system carving itself around the southwest corner of the state. So not a promising weather pattern for tremendous snows, but at least a little bit of a sign that we'll see a little bit better of a weather pattern. So let's dive in and check out and see exactly what the snow totals are so far in the Treasure Valley, and we'll do some quality control with our Security Gold and Silver Exchange friends. They are going to give us the thumbs up with the green bell, thumbs down with the red, where it comes to maybe a good or bad forecast. So here we go. So taking a look first at the Gem State and much of the Northwest, this was the forecast I put out, and you can see that it's pretty much spot on. Mountain forecast looks good. The Treasure Valley forecast looks good, and the bells are ringing. So So we get a good green there. It's a go for the month of December. How about January? This is what I forecast for the month of January. And right now you can see in the Treasure Valley, a trace to 2 inches. I'd say we get a trace. So we're going to give that a thumbs up as well. And the mountain snow totals look good. Now let's go into the Treasure Valley. This is where things get a little bit iffy because I went high for snow in the Treasure Valley. How about December? We're going to give it thumbs up in December because about a 1 to 2 inch amount. But as you can hear, don't like that sound. January, I was below what most normal forecasts are for January in the Treasure Valley. But in Caldwell, we only had 5 inches for the forecast, not even close to that yet. But I think out in Nampa, why did I do that sound? So December was a good forecast for Nampa. January went for 6 inches, but that's below what we normally get in January. We did not see that. The same for Meridian, below normal snows so far in January. My forecast called for 7 inches in Eagle. It was good snow forecast in Eagle for December. We got about 1 to 3 inches there, but January, nowhere near 7 inches there and nowhere near 8 inches in Boise for the month of January. January in Boise, I went a little bit more aggressive with 5 inches of snow. We did not even come close. 1.7 inches of snow there. So the average snowfall for the Treasure Valley for Boise is around 19 inches for the year. We typically get most of the heaviest snows in December, in January, in a La Nina weather pattern. However, it did not happen. The good news is that if you're looking for some prolonged winter conditions and snow going out into spring, there's a good chance for that to happen with this weather pattern based on what I'm seeing. In the Treasure Valley, we could get some snows as well in the month of April and March. So certainly some better news there. So to recap, we had that forecast for the ridge of high pressure back out in the Pacific. It is sliding towards the west. It'll continue to slide towards the west. That will allow storm systems to open up and come on in to the Pacific Northwest. So then we'll start to see the activity for the possibility of snow in the Treasure Valley increase. However, it'll be light in nature, at least initially. We go in towards the last couple of weeks of January and in towards the early stages of November. So thanks to Security Gold and Silver Exchange for helping us out with the quality control. I think we did pretty good with that forecast, being way out there and long range weather forecast for the season. That was one of my better ones. Still not as good as the best of all time. My number one forecast ever was forecasting Snowmageddon 2 months out before any other forecaster looked onto that. So we're proud about that one. That one makes all the 30 years of hard work and forecasting and dedication to studying pay off. If you want to be a sponsor or be on the weather show with Vin Crosby, let me know. I'd love to come and interview you. And let's hope for some more snow, especially up in the mountains. As everybody says, we need it. We really don't need it at this point, but it would help to get a couple of more good storm systems to pound us with maybe 1, 2, 3 feet of snow. That does not look like it's happening in the immediate future, but with this weather pattern shift, I think the chances will increase going in towards the latter half of winter into early, possibly spring.